Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm very happy to be here. I'd like to present our project. The company is called Orsu Metals. It operates a single property. We are exploring for gold. We're exploring for gold in Russia. We actually have a project. We are not just doing exploration. We are exploring what already we consider to be a discovery. The company is a listed company. It's listed on TSXV. Let me just take you through the story. I mean, I have to say this, but actually, let's keep it, for the sake of time, because I want to tell you the story. But we are a public company, and we have to make certain disclaimers, being a public company. Okay, we acquired this property about 20 months ago. I became the managing director around the same time. I actually sold to Orsu the gold property which I and my partners had, and I became the largest shareholder of Orsu, owning about 20% of stock, and I became a managing director. What we've done over the past 20 months, we spent about $4.5 million US. We drilled about 17.5 kilometers of diamond drilling. We did about 5,000 meters of trenching with the geophysics, and we will announce, I do not promise next week, I actually cannot promise, even 2 weeks time, but I expect, based on my morning review conversation with the head of geology, that we will issue a maiden compliant 43101 resource statement within next 2 to 3 weeks time. And I expect this to be within the guidance. If we take, the lower range of what we said we're going to do, we're probably going to deliver anywhere between 1.8 to 1.9 million ounces of gold at an average grade of 1.6 to 1.7 gram of gold per ton. I mean, for a maiden resource, that's not a bad start at all. It's significant. We're already talking about 60 tons of gold. We made some initial metallurgical testing. The oxide cap leaches beautifully. We get up to 95% recovery, and the oxide cap is about 50 meters high. One part of the deposit where we tested the primary ores, the sulfide ores, also worked well. Up to 90% of gold is cyanidable. So far, we do not see any major concerns in terms of metallurgy, but we keep working on this. And as I said, the company will issue a resource statement, a maiden resource statement, within next 2 to 3 weeks. In May, I expect we will issue a preliminary economic assessment, which will be a DCF-based assessment, what this property could look like in terms of developing it. What else? Just one number to draw your attention to. You divide $4.5 million by expected 1.8 million ounces. You get a discovery cost of anywhere between $2.5 to $3 per ounce. I don't think a lot of companies can beat that. The company is run very, very frugally. The salaries are low, but everyone like me is a big shareholder. We are fully aligned with the success of this project. Okay, that's the shareholding structure, 36 million shares. 40 million fully diluted. As I said, the insiders, they control about 50% of the stock. Insiders, partners, friends, and family, so to say, in a good sense of this word. The stock went up by essentially 100% over the past year. It retreated a bit. The market anticipates the resource statement, which we will issue shortly. One thing to know, that Gold Fields, the 5th largest gold producer on the planet, owns about 7.5% of the stock. Okay, I won't speak much about that. I just want to draw your attention to a number of things. Sergei Kurzin, who is the founder of the company, a good friend and the chairman, executive chairman, in his previous home runs in junior mining, I think he created anywhere between $4 to $5 billion of value for his shareholders. I've been in mining over the past 15 years. Last 8 years, I've been in junior mining, particularly in gold mining. Before that, I was working for Norilsk Nickel, the largest nickel producer and palladium producer on the planet. Mark Quarter, our lead director, non-executive director, used to be the CFO for Clive Johnson at Bema Gold, now B2Gold. So actually, we have a very balanced and very strong board. That's where the property is. It's actually a triple junction. To the south, it's Mongolia. To the east, China. And that's called Transbaikalia area. And you can actually see the Lake of Baikal. So we are kind of 1,000 kilometers to the east from the Lake of Baikal. Historically, this is a very rich province in terms of gold. has been mined, for hundreds of years. Now, we are only 8 kilometers away from the paved road, federal highway connecting far east of Russia with European Russia. The power is there, the grid is there, the water is there, the railway station is 30 kilometers away. The interesting stuff is this. You can see immediately to the east from our highlighted gold property, a big historical open pit. That's a 5 million ounce reserve and resource, and that's a property which is currently owned by an Indian family, and this property will be acquired, based on what we know, by the second largest Chinese gold producer, China National Gold, within next month or two, right? So it does prove, that we operate in the right area geologically, but also it creates, the situation. It's a nice trading backdrop, I would put it this way, for our company to have the second largest Chinese gold producer sharing a license border with us, right? To the left, you can see the open pit and the mill, which is in this village immediately to the west from our license. That's another mine. It's a big mine. So essentially, we are between two well-established deposits. And as I said, we are going to announce 1.7, 1.8, 1.9 million ounces of gold. Add on top of this 5 million ounces that China National Gold will own shortly. We're talking about, a 10 million ounce system, right? That's big. That's a world-class asset. Okay, here's another picture. Here's the open pit, as you can see. And in red, you can see our license, right? That's how the Google would show this property like 2 years ago. Now, let's come to this. That's how it looks now. You can see all these trenches with it. Actually, we invested quite a bit. And as you can see, the structures on the right-hand side, that's approximately what we are going to show, to demonstrate to the market in 2-3 weeks' time. Obviously, the distance between actually the western wall of the pit and our property is 300 meters away. Essentially, we're talking about the same system, just different parts of the same system. Now, what do we want to achieve? We will issue, it says here, end of January 2019, it's going to be March. We're going to issue maiden resource. We're going to issue a preliminary economic assessment in the spring, May, latest June this year. We are pushing towards having the Russian resource defined, because that would allow us to actually start commercial mining or semi-commercial mining. We are going to start mining ore and selling this to a neighboring plant to the west from us. They have spare capacity. And we could be talking about generating something between 6 to 8 million US dollars free cash flow as soon as of Q1, Q2 next year. We'll be doing a bulk test with our neighbors shortly. We'll see whether our ore behaves well at their plant. And if it does so, that basically resolves the issue of dilution and exploration funding. We won't have to dilute our shareholders at all. The bigger game is, and that's not in the presentation, the bigger game is to see if we can get this property from 1.8 million ounces today in inferred category to something like 3 million ounces in measured and indicated within 2 years of time, right? As I said, I do not want to do it at a cost more than 5 million free new money to the shareholders. So basically, I hope that 2020, 2021 will be financed by the internally generated cash flows. But we may need to do a capital raise, a limited capital raise this year. And the ambition is to do a PFS study and the M&I, 3 million ounces in M&I within next 2 years. And that would be a multiple value creation from what the company is today. Today is 10 million US. So we are playing a big game here. Well, I'd be happy to take your questions, but I'm limited in terms of time. Thank you very much for listening. I do think, we have an exciting year, an exciting project. And actually, we have a project. It's not about the potential. It's about actually, we have the prey. We just need to look after the prey and grow the prey. Thank you. And by the way, I have some copies of this presentation, so I don't know. Feel free, to pick it up, or I'll just distribute it. Thank you.